Okay, first I'm going to give you my take on the Ouija board. Now, a friend of mine bought me one for my last birthday. I've had it here maybe almost a year now, but nothing has happened. But I consider the Ouija board just painted cardboard. Now, I think I've never said I've never really sit down with someone else. I think it actually takes three people to properly use a Ouija board. You have two people with their fingers on the planchette, blindfolded, and then a third person, to write down whatever letters may come up. I think that's a proper way to use one. I don't know how they actually used them back in the days when they were popular. Now, from a story my father had told me that years ago, my grandma was born in the late 1800s. She died about 1980 something. But according to my father, my grandma had attended. That was popular back at when she was a young girl, and my father had said that apparently my grandma had attended a Ouija place where they're using a Ouija board, and it apparently had scared her to the point where she wouldn't even talk about it. So I'm guessing my grandma believed in them, but I find that kind of interesting. But to me, I don't know. I just consider them painted cardboard. But I think a lot of that's intent. Now, if you attempt to summon up a demon, I think you'd probably do that, just through some different rituals. I don't think you need a Ouija board to do that. But I would advise anybody that's going to do something like that to be very, very careful. Do some research, understand what you're doing, because most people here are probably not going to know who Aleister Crowley was. But Aleister Crowley, he was called the Beast, the wickedest man on earth at one time. He died, I think, back in the 1940s. But now he had summoned up some entities. Now, he knew what he was doing, but he'd summoned up some entities, supposedly. This is how the story goes. You're never sure what's true here, but supposedly Aleister Crowley had summoned up some entities that he had serious trouble banishing. So I just advise anybody to know what they're doing, and probably better off not to mess with that type of stuff. But to me, Ouija board is just cardboard. But actually, there are rituals which you can summon up stuff. Now, I think if you are of a mindset that you want to, or maybe you're afraid of ghosts or demons or something, I think what you're doing there, your fear is creating what they call thought forms. That fear is manifesting these beings out of your own fears, out of your own thoughts. That's my take on this. Now, I'm gonna get to a few things now. Ghosts and shadow figures and the other critters that go bump in the night, as they say. Now, to me, I give that ghosts and shadow people. I thinking that falls roughly into several types of beings. Now, the most common thought of what a ghost is. Now, I'm talking about something that will react to you in an intelligent way. Like the ghost I've got here will hide stuff. Now, I'm thinking that's the spirit of a once living person, someone that's passed on, someone that knows that they're a ghost, someone that, just doing silly little things like that. Now, there's people will report finding money, just a few dollars or maybe pennies or something. Now, I think that's a ghost manifesting these pennies. I think one person loses a penny and another person finds a penny. I think it kind of works that way. Or I think, Robert Monroe. He wrote in one of his books that he would periodically find several dollars in his pants. He knew he hadn't left them there. So I'm thinking it's the same thing. I'm thinking that I don't think it amounted very much, and I think it just only happened a few times. But something I had found interesting, and he found interesting in his books. If you want to look up the star Robert Monroe, he wrote 3 books, and he's got some interviews here on YouTube. If I've commented on Robert Monroe a number of times here, one of my personal heroes, along with Nikola Tesla and a few other people. Now, I wouldn't call Aleister Crowley a hero, but someone I found interesting. Now, there's a couple other people that, again, are not heroes to me, but people that I find their lives interesting. Now, let me get back to, like I said, ghosts. I think ghosts are the spirits of once living people. Now, there are something called, they're ghosts that just kind of repeat stuff that don't really have intelligence to them. I'm thinking that's probably just trapped energy from a once living person. Now, they have, or maybe energy from a very tragic event that people have just fed, from thought forms from other people have just fed into this energy that kind of repeats itself, like what they call like a stone tape theory, that it's just trapped energy, not really any intelligence there. That's another type of ghost. Now, I think there are beings from other dimensions that kind of loosely interact in our reality. I'm thinking that maybe the shadow people. The shadow people could be, human created thought forms. Shadow people could be leftover energy from once living people that have departed, just kind of hanging around. More likely, the shadow people are all of the categories of beings that I'm describing here. That's kind of my thought that shadow. I've never seen one. I've never interacted with one, but that's kind of my take on what shadow people might be. Now, I think some of the ghost people see are continuously living human beings, but they're in their astral body. Now, let me give you. I've given this a few times, but I'll repeat it here just so that you've got it again. But okay, the belief is with people like me that that understand certain types of this type of thing. But certain stages of sleep, we all go out of body, astral body. That everybody, in very very deep forms of sleep, we all go out of body. And there's some people that can consciously astral project, that go through the ritual, that go through the meditation, that know how to do it. Now, I've tried for many years and haven't got too far. I can't quite get past that fear factor that, that once your spirit starts to leave your body, there's some deep program fear down in your body says, I'm dying, and your body's not quite ready to die yet. But that's kind of the deal with me. But that I think a lot of ghosts are misidentified as the astral body. Now, periodically you hear somebody, like a husband or wife, will see or let's say a husband will see their wife in the hallway, and you'll see her kind of floating down the hallway rather, and say, wait a minute, I thought my wife was asleep. So suddenly she disappears, and he looks in her bedroom and sees her fast asleep, and he goes, well, what the hell? Well, to me, that's she's in her astral body, just wandering out and just going back into her body again to wake up in the morning. And if she remembers anything, it'll be as a dream. Now, there's something called the old hag syndrome. If you want to look into that, I think sleep paralysis is part of that. Now, if you're in that half awake, half asleep state, you're kind of in that's kind of a special mental state, and you're kind of open to paranormal things. Now, maybe there are different astral entities of one type or another hanging around your room, and your body's still kind of. I've gone through sleep paralysis. It's been a while since it's been a problem for you, but as a kid, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But now, you're kind of in a half awake, half asleep thing, and you're starting down, and you do see some type of ghost or astral entity or something, and you're not really prepared for it, but your body's still kind of paralyzed from from the sleep process. Yeah, that's got to be a bit scary. I think for me, if I saw something, I would initially I'd probably be scared, but I'd kind of rationalize my way through it. I kind of have some understanding of it. But as a kid, a few times I would, be in that state where I was half awake, half asleep, and my body couldn't move. But I'd say, well, let's just give us a minute, and my body will fully wake up, and I'll be fine. That's kind of my take on it. I kind of got past that. And it wasn't a major problem for me. I didn't really. I'm trying to think. There's some dreams I had. I suspect were from being out of body, various entities I met up with, and at the time they were somewhat scary. Let's see. I think there's one or two more things I was going to cover here. Now there are. I believe there's astral entities. I've heard them described by people that do go out of body. I can't really. If you're interested, do a search here on YouTube because those critters are here on YouTube. There's people that can better describe them for me. They're just kind of. I think there's some form of intelligent being that just kind of hangs out there on the astral plane. They're intelligent, semi-intelligent. I don't know. Maybe they're just energy thing out there, but they're interesting. Now, black-eyed children. I don't know. I don't know if there's a real, if there's an urban legend. I've told us here once before of this lady in the red hoodie that was weird but I don't remember ever seeing her face. She asked me to give her a ride, just maybe half a mile or so to a place where she's staying, but I don't remember ever being able to see her face. She had the voice of a young female, but somehow back in back in my mind, the term jailbait, just kept going over and over in my mind, and I thought to myself later, why would I be thinking jailbait if I couldn't see her face, if I couldn't kind of try to figure out an age for this chick? And I'm thinking maybe there's some protective part of my psyche or whatever that was preventing me from seeing it. Saying if you really see this is some type of being that if you allow her to get into your soul, she'll do something. I don't know. I just find it strange. Okay, still love y'all. Hey, let's all have fun out there. Let's enjoy the paranormal. Let's all stay spooky. That's the famous phrase from Colin Brown. Love you, dude. Love your videos. You know what I mean. Okay, let's stay spooky. Bye-bye.